Hey, what's up everyone? A lot of the people have been asking me how to get their accounts reviewed. Unfortunately, I cannot do it for everyone. So in this video, Tenha Sensei is going to teach you how to diagnose your account by yourself. In order for me to look very smart in this video, I got these pair of glasses. And these glasses are not just ordinary glasses. As technology advanced, we started looking at smartphones and monitors all day. When you spend too much time on the screen, you would probably get some headaches and you would have some problem falling asleep at night. And GMG Performance asked me to try out these pair of glasses. I usually spend about 12 hours a day in front of a screen. I recently experienced my eyesight getting worse. These problems are due to blue lights, and these are severe problems for us gamers. These glasses, they protect my eyes, and they help me from blue lights. And hey, this could be just placebo effect. I'm starting to feel that a lot of the problems I had before are gone. Also, you don't get this little yellow tint when you wear these pair of glasses. As you can see, there's not much of a difference. I want to let you know that GMG is offering autumn sale with 40% discount. That's almost half the price. That ends in October 4th PST. So do not miss your chance. Link in the video description down below. So as you guys have seen from many of my review videos, what I usually check are their levels, weapon levels, talent levels, and their constellations. Artifacts comes later. So for example, usually when people say they struggle in Spare Abyss or when their weapon levels are really low. I'm talking about those people with AR-55. So if you do play this game the right way, by collecting all the Geoculus, finding all those chests, doing all those quests, it will probably take you about 1.5 months to get to AR-50 and plus. But I would say 90% of the people who would say that they're struggling in the Spare Abyss are the ones that does not have their weapons at level 90. So for the character levels, when they are like electros, animals, when you're trying to create like a non-melt and vaporize reactions like overload, superconduct, electrocharge, shattered, and swirl, it depends on your character level. If that is the case, I tell them to get their characters to level 90. Higher the levels are, the more damage you do. Along with that, if you want more damage for those, you also need more elemental mastery. So you'll have to keep that in mind when you're going for the meta, which stands for most effective tactics available. They're not brain dead. If you're a small spender or if you're F2P, you have to go for the meta, which are usually the melt and vaporize. They are the most powerful reactions in the game currently, and you should be chasing for that if you want to clear Spare Abyss. So, the top two characters that will help you advance in Spare Abyss are Xingqiu and Bennett. His best in slot weapon is Sacrificial Sword. Without this weapon, your Xingqiu is not going to function properly. For constellations, there had been a lot of people saying that, yo, you know, your Xingqiu is only good at C6. And I do understand. Yes, at C6, any character will function so much better. However, you do not need this because the main function of Xingqiu is that she is going to apply Hydro so that you can create reverse vaporize. So when it's reverse something, then you do 1.5 times damage. When it's the right order, then you do times 2 damage for melt and vaporize. So anyways, let's forget about the constellation. Let's assume that you're F2P. What should you be doing to increase your damage? So characteristics of Xingqiu is that he has huge multiplier for his E. Look at this. At level 8, his skill damage is 269% plus 306%. So his E does 575% at level 8. And if you do have Sacrificial Sword, he does that twice. In a split second, he can use E twice, use Q, swap out, and he gets tons and tons of particles as well. So he acts as a very good battery for other characters as well. So if your damage sucks, first, check your weapon level. After that, you check your talent levels, and then you can finally work on your character levels. So I would say the baseline for a character would be level 80 out of 90. But as F2P or small spender, the resins are the problem. So I would forgive you at level 80 out of 80. That's okay. If by any chance you're playing on mobile phones, your controls are really bad, or if you are like me and you don't know how to play this game in the beginning, play this game and you have no idea what's going on or what you have to do in order for you to increase damage, what reaction you need to make. If that's the case, level 80 out of 90 would help you out. Let's move on to Bennett. I also got a lot of comments saying that I still do not have Bennett. That is very unfortunate. But this is just in case you get Bennett in the future so that you know how to build him. he is going to be your Lord and Savior. I wouldn't say you want to spend too much resource into auto attacks because it's not the main source of damage anyways, even for me. So I kept it at level 1 and I focused on his Q because I wanted to buff other characters for the damage showcase. For the constellations, the most important constellation that would make Bennett so much better would be C1. If you do not have C1, that's okay, because there are rotations in the Paimon's bargains, and they sometimes sell Bennett here. So as you are pulling for characters, you might want to save 34 star glitter to buy extra Bennett, or if you do not have Bennett, you can purchase one. It is going to be worth it, trust me. And after all that, you would want to work on your main DPS. Main DPS are probably one of those characters that you have chose to use on the field most of the time. For example, the main characters I would recommend you to use as main DPS would be Eula, Ganyu. Ayaka is also a very good main DPS, but she's more of a swap character in my opinion. I don't keep her too much on the field, but she is really nice because she's cryo. So 3 characters we just talked about are cryos, and they're all okay. However, there are some characters that are very good at C6 and will underperform at C0, but that is still fine. Because if it does less damage than males, that's totally fine. Just do your thing, swap out, and that's gonna be it. So you should not worry too much about people saying, oh, you know, your character sucks at C0. You know what? Ignore that stuff. Also, Raiden Shogun has underwhelming damage at C0. However, for F2Ps, she is gonna be your lifesaver. She's gonna make things so much better. Just make sure you know how to rotate characters, use skills, and then use Q at the end after you get a lot of stacks. Child is also a very good DPS. However, at C0, he's gonna have that post-nut clarity, so keep that in mind. Yoimiya is also a good one, but she is a specialized single-target DPS. So you might suffer if your Yoimiya is not well built, which is gonna be most of the cases for small spenders and F2Ps, so keep that in mind. Hu Tao as well. A lot of the people were saying Hu Tao is good, but I believe that her true potential is locked behind C1, where you would be able to charge attack without consuming any stamina after she uses E. And there is Diluc, my all-time favorite character for main DPS. If you pair him up with Xingqiu, then you would have absolutely no problem beating Spiral Bliss. Just keep that in mind that some of the elements are very necessary to have to take down some of the shield characters. You gotta mix and match those elements. And to add one more thing, there was a big debate on whether you should be working on Xiangling or not. To be honest, I had been reviewing a lot of the accounts, and I've been asking people to build their Xiangling if they lack characters. If you have all those main DPS, there's no reason for you to go for Xiangling. Unless you're really desperate, you want to choose the character that you want to work on and level up that character, have fun with their playstyles. Some of the people don't like how Xiangling works, but nonetheless, Xiangling, I would say, she is one of the best DPS you can ever have. But there's a funny thing. She is a main DPS, but she can be off-field DPS. You know, usually when characters are off-field DPS, then you would probably say they're sub-DPS. But Xiangling, you would want to go for the pyro damage. I've seen some people using physical damage bonus weapon, but no, that is not how you would use her. So, great thing about Xiangling is that there is no internal cooldown between the reactions. You probably have noticed that it does not work every single time. However, for Xiangling, her EQ has no internal cooldown. What is an internal cooldown? It is the cooldown that it takes after first reaction happens and how long it takes for the next reaction to happen. That's internal cooldown. If there is no internal cooldown, that means every time you do damage with Pyronado or Global Attack, it is going to cause reaction. That means she's going to be very good at doing damage or taking down the shields. So keep that in mind, guys. And the most important constellation for Xiangling is her C4. The performance between C0 to C3 versus C4 or plus are very dramatic. So her Q duration is 10 seconds, cooldown 20 seconds. So yeah, you would probably be able to get her energy up every 20 seconds. However, this duration is not long enough. With C4, that Pyronado duration becomes 14%, which means there's only gonna be 6 seconds downtime for her Q, which makes her really viable. For artifacts, you could probably go for emblem set. You could also go for 2-piece crimson set, 2-piece noblesse, whatever works for you. But when your artifacts suck, you want to prioritize your main stats and substats. I've seen some people just trying to get the set bonus and sacrificing their main stats. For example, for Goblet, you want to go for pyro damage bonus, but then this guy went for HP percentage. You're not gonna believe what people do to complete their set. This is not so important in early game. Lastly, I would like to emphasize the importance of your stats. So what stats should you be going for? And I want to know if my crit rate, crit damage is good or not. So just memorize this. 1-to-2 ratio, alright? So if your crit rate kind of looks like 70% crit rate with a 133% critical damage, that is good. That is near 1-to-2 ratio. And I really like to keep my crit rate around 70% because it looks so much more stable in my eyes. It is very noticeable. And of course, if you have 50% crit rate with 100% critical damage, that is good too. Do not worry too much because as you advance and farm for new characters, you would be getting some off-piece set that you can use on other characters. And you should be able to complete a character one by one. And this video is getting quite long, so I would probably have to cut it right here. And this is gonna be the part 1 of how to diagnose your account. How I do account reviews. To summarize, we had to check their weapon levels, character levels, talent levels, and then artifacts. If you had watched this video and still don't know what's causing the problem, that is totally fine. You can find me at twitch.tv/TenhaTV and you can ask me questions there. Do not write essays there. Keep your questions short. Or if you had been watching my stream for a long time, you'd probably have a lot of channel points there and you can use those channel points to request an account review from me. Also, in the next video, I will teach you how to come up with a team in Sparabis, and I hope this video helped you out a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.